All right. Can you hear this, Jared?
Yeah.
And I'm always, you guys know how I am.
You can hear it?
Yes.
Is it clear?
It is. Can you make it just a little louder?
Yep. You guys, if you guys can hear it, let me know, please.
I've been very transparent since I was a player, and I'm the same way now. The fact that he has made those outreaches, it means a lot to like myself, who was part of like that 2012 team, who kind of felt not necessarily forgotten by you guys, but, you know, and I love Franklin too, but we never felt at home with Franklin because, you know, when we came back, if you wasn't a letterman that played with Franklin, it was a different kind of love. Yeah. And I think we all kind of felt that way unless you were on staff, not just myself, but it's guys that I connected with that played in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s. So we all kind of felt that way. Very happy for what Franklin did for the program. I think he did a good job. I think he did. But people don't realize, man, we're blue blood and we have a lot of tradition. And I think Franklin did a good job of upkeeping that tradition. But part of that tradition to me is, why not have the lettermen that played and sacrificed back, you know, not just my time, but way before me? Why not have them come back and speak to the team? Why not have them on staff? Like you just mentioned, we got 10 guys on staff that played in different parts of time. All right. So that's a really big deal to a lot of us guys who kind of felt a little forgotten in the Franklin era. I'm not going to say that his outreach attempts was a little fake, but it's nothing how it is now with Matt Campbell taking over. Like he's persistent. I know guys who have already been there, went up there. Deion Butler, he lives in Atlanta up here with me. We hang out pretty often. He just went to State College roughly about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he had nothing but great things to rave about. And he just said it felt so sincere with meeting Campbell and what they wanted to do with the Letterman and how they wanted us to be on campus. And, you know, we can watch the team work out. We can come and practice. We don't have to go to all of these different hoops and holes. And that was good to hear. So I don't want to take anything away from Franklin. I felt like he did a phenomenal job, but man, you can't erase the past players. And I think Matt Campbell's doing a phenomenal job at the moment of just keeping us in the loop, because he really don't have to, keeping us in the loop and wanting us to be engaged and wanting us to come support the team, which we are going to support the brotherhood already. Just to add to Matt Campbell.
All right. So breaking news, I'm not surprised. Don't know why, and I am not going to black out and go into another rant. I'm just going to remain calm. But the reason that happened, I do not know. I actually know Stephon. I knew Stephon Morris. Because I interviewed him for one of my college papers. So, yeah. So, met him in the hub, interviewed him. I was like, I don't know, 21, 22. I was nervous. I recorded it.
Yep.
And I kept like saying like, which you don't do in an interview.
No.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but wrote a paper, really nice guy, really willing to help me out. A lot of those football players, a lot of those athletes were very willing to help fellow students, their classmates, because they knew their status. And some of them we needed to interview guys like them to do projects. And I think it was a final paper. I interviewed him, James Terry, and another guy. James Terry played defensive tackle and someone else. But Stephon was a nice guy. When he went to the Patriots in the draft, I texted him. I said, "Hey, man, congratulations on making it to the Patriots." He's like, "Thank you." But he was a solid player for us at Penn State. But him saying this again, I Jared, sometimes it's almost like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Franklin is this type of person, and he doesn't welcome Letterman. Like, you don't even have to know that to know that. Clearly, he didn't, and he didn't listen to the one Letterman that he should have listened to, and Terry Smith. He didn't listen to him, which is a joke. Terry Smith, he's lucky Terry Smith is the character that he is because he just kept his mouth shut and did his job. Terry Smith could have left, and he didn't. He stayed because he loves Penn State. He stayed now after not getting the head coach job because he loves Penn State. He stayed and did the head coaching job to a T because he loves Penn State. He's a Joe Paterno Penn State product. These lettermen deserve to come back and be a part of Penn State. If they're not, there's a huge issue. So,
well, not to scare off the football conversation, but seeing that reminds me of something that just recently happened with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, I know this is primarily Penn State, so this would mean that we have a lot of like Philadelphia fans. So I'm not trying to, shove my Pittsburgh stuff down, but this was something that I recently saw. This was such a cool story. Don Kelly is now the manager for the Pirates. He is a Yinzer. Mm-hmm. He comes from the Pittsburgh area, and this was his first full spring training just recently. And he was talking to his players in their first meeting. And I don't know if they kept it a surprise or if they're like, we have someone here that would like to talk to you guys. In walks the best thing to happen to the Pirates in probably 30 years, Mr. A.J. Burnett, the guy that we acquired from the Yankees, 37 years old when we got him, on the last legs of his pitching career. And he walks into that room and everybody just is in awe of this dude. He's a rock star. Like, if you've never seen AJ interviewed or if you've never seen him talk, like, he is just such a dude. And everyone was just eating it up. Like, they were like, this is what we want. This guy's going to talk to us about the culture. He's going to, we created one of the best atmospheres, for this team in the last 20, 30 years. When they broke the losing streak in 2013, like, they were talking about how it was because of leaders like A.J. Burnett. And that's all about making the atmosphere aware of, like, the culture you're trying to create. So I can totally understand what they are talking about. When you have a guy like Campbell who understands that these guys are part of the tradition. They are a part of what makes this foundation solid, what makes it, reliable. And we all talk about how great these teams from the 2000s and 1990s, like, we can go back in how many years, like, it's so important to see these guys show what it means to have tradition, what it means to have, a sense of pride. And again, it's the Nittany Nation, for crying out loud. You always want to show pride. And yeah, I very much appreciate guys who let you know that this is what the culture should be and what we need to strive for.
Yeah, and that was it was the Tangwell Film Network, by the way. Shout out to Landon. Great content. He took over for the bloggy. Tangwell Film Network. That's what that was on. So I wanted to shout them out. Felt that James Franklin was a very good recruiter, but never knew how to use the guys. Yeah, he was all about just getting them because they're good. That's it. No, I think generally he had pretty good character guys. I think generally he did. I don't think he really messed around with guys that didn't have good character, but he always says he loves his players, but when you love your players truly, you don't baby them. They're not your friend. The coaches I have a respect for that I had are ones that they'd literally get so mad at you, they'd change colors. They would scream at you. That's the coaches I have respect for.
Right, but this might be a good idea or like analysis. Like James Franklin, it's almost like when you're playing in the groups, like when you're a kid and you have the toys on the floor. It's like he knows how these toys work, and you sit there, oh, can I play with him? And they're like, no, these are my guys. Like you go find your own thing. I feel like James, he knew how these players played, but he wanted to control them. He never wanted anyone else to join in on the fun. And I feel like this is what it's important for everyone to have. We need a coach that's going to let all of us play too. Like, that's the thing. We want to be a part of this. And these guys, like they say, like the alumni, the lettermen, they want to be a part of this too. So it's like, let us play in this fort. Like, let us play in the sandbox with you. Like,
Right. 100%. Yeah, that's a great analogy, Jared. Yeah, LeVar Arrington Jr. said, coaches, to LeVar, his dad, about Franklin. He's like, coaches, meaning like he's always in there coaching, which is not good. That's what you have assistants for. Okay. He ran everything and it didn't work. I think generally across the board, he just wasn't good at what he did, but he tried to control everything. That's you never you don't want to do that, dude. Like that's not good. Don't do that. And like if Terry Smith had anything to do with it, it's like, okay, well, the previous president was, my opinion, absolute train wreck. The new president going a lot better. All right. So when you have the previous guy, okay, and let's say he had someone under him who was good at his job, he didn't let him do it. Okay. Maybe it could have made things better. Then you bring in a new guy who maybe has that same person, but this time around he listens to him. Okay. Maybe this time around, because Matt Campbell's listening to Terry Smith, maybe that's a reason why things are different, why things are better. If James Franklin would have let Terry Smith maybe reach out to the alumni, make that his thing. You reach out to the alumni, bring them in, the Letterman, you bring them in. Maybe make that his thing. He didn't do that. He didn't listen to people. So the fact that it's crazy, man, that these Lettermen didn't feel welcome. You know how crazy that is, Jared? That like this coach who was there that long,
like this particular program of all of the Big Ten program, this is insane. Like, I mean, Ohio State and Michigan are probably the only other two that can probably say something like this would be ludicrous for you to do that to our program, but this has got to be at least the third most important program in all Big Ten for you not to do that with.
Again, I'm gonna remain calm. Like Landon Tangwall, for example, of all people, he said, I didn't even know anything about the program before besides like Joe. There was nothing in the building that indicated there was a history here. And I'm like, dude, what? Are you kidding me? They didn't know that? Mm-hmm. That's insane. The history of Penn State football and this one guy kept them from knowing about it. What? Like, what I would really like to know what was the purpose of that? Like, why are you erasing the history of Penn State? And this, that's where the fraud part comes in. In his opening press, he said, I'm a Pennsylvania guy with a Penn State heart. Okay. Well, if that's true, then you should totally embrace the Letterman, which he did not do. So Stephon Morris, and like he said, he's transparent. Like that's how he is. Like he doesn't sugarcoat stuff, man. Like that's how he talks. And he was being nice. And I said I interviewed Stephon for a paper because I kind of have that little bit of background with him. Yeah, he was being nice. Like he didn't truly speak his mind, but he said, I love Franklin, but it was a different kind of love. Just interpret that how you will. In a Stephon Morris type of way, he was being nice. And there's really no reason for him like not to be nice about it, But yeah, he was I'm not saying he's holding back, but he was nice about it. So good for you, Stephon. But you have to interpret what he said, and what he said was, now it's being embraced. It's totally different. And Landon Tangwall said he started his podcast because he wanted to learn the history of Penn State football. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Franklin is the reason, in a roundabout way, why Landon has a podcast, because he knew nothing about the history. He knew very little about the history of Penn State. And he started a podcast because he wanted to learn about the history of Penn State. That is, yeah. I'm just going to move on.
Yep.
All right. Rocco Becht, he did a little Q&A, which was cool. And I'm going to play the one Matt Campbell clip too. By the way, okay, I'm going to play this right now. Hold on. Let's go back. This is give me a second here, but pull it up. This is Letterman related. I almost forgot to bring it up. Yep. Can you hear it, Jared?
Yes.
Our greatest gift is those that came before us. I still would tell you, I think the superpower of Penn State football. It's still one of the absolute joys that you have walking in that facility every day, and you see the names that have played and coached and the tradition that has come before us. The greatest time and the greatest eras and the greatest moments, unifying and aligning our history, our former players back involved in our football program. Will continue to work really hard. It's what makes Penn State football really special. Our greatest gift is those that came before us.
Yeah. So
I still would tell you, I think the superpower of Penn State football.
Greg Garrity. Greg, we have Greg Jr. on here, and Greg's such a nice and humble guy, but dude, that's a legendary name at Penn State, man. Greg, Greg doesn't like. Greg's a nice, humble guy. He would not boast about that, but dude, his dad and like that whole thing, like that is his name is legendary at Penn State.
Yeah.
But like I said, like all of that history. And it was not embraced. And Stephon literally said it. You know what I mean? That's why we're talking about it, because Stephon brought it up and they interviewed him about it. Like it's mind-boggling, man. It really is.
Seeing that video, I mean, it really does kind of make you go like, did we have anything like that recently? I mean, they keep bringing up the whiteout like highlights all the time. Like, yeah, we all know it's such a huge atmosphere, but you're right. I can't remember actually the last time we saw like a promotional like history of like the montage like going back and forth. I can't remember the last time I saw one of those. And again, it just kind of every one of them, if you gets you going, like that's really what it's all about, to really make you feel aware and understand that it's that special. Like everything that comes before is what makes it right now. Like we are just so lucky to see so much history. And to get a little bit of that back, that was nice. That was a good little video.
Yeah, 100%. The media people that do stuff for Penn State football in particular, they're the best. They do really good work. And it's not